Hi friends, Soul Tribe reading. This is only going to be a little baby Soul Tribe reading, not just for babies. It's very dark and gloomy here, and I'm very quickly running out of light to do this reading. But I wanted to come on and just read, I think we were going to read 2 chapters from that book. I can't remember, but I really wanted to come on and connect with you. So to start with, I have we've used this before. It's called Ask Your Guides. So if there's something you want to know from your guides, ask it now. I accidentally grabbed a card when I grabbed that book, so you know how that goes. Once I touch it, once I make eye contact with it, we need to read it. So yeah, think about something you'd like to know. I like to ask for general guidance from my guides sometimes if I don't have a specific question. So we have 40, pleasure, fulfillment, abundance, satisfaction, contentment. Your joy guides urge you to relax, have fun. We're just jumping right in. And allow the good times to roll. Life is to be enjoyed, not endured. Whether it is a fun day at the beach or a rousing sexual romp with your lover. Your joy guides remind you that there's no benefit to refusing the beauty and bounty of life. Release old, worn-out patterns of learning through pain and suffering alone, and begin to learn through joy, inspiration, and pleasure. It is time to leave the miserable energy of the past behind and allow yourself to experience more contentment and peace. Focus on what brings you happiness and lifts your spirit. Pay attention to what you love and choose more of this in your day-to-day life. Suffering as a noble cause is no longer appropriate. You have suffered more than enough. Stop postponing rewards until the afterlife. Instead, enjoy a little heaven on earth today. Indulge your soul in some delicious food, good music, close friends, and playful fun. Allow your joy guides to add some sparkle to your life now. Relax and enjoy life. Everything will be okay. That's your message. Everything will be okay. I used to, you know what, when I was at my darkest time in my life and people would be like, everything will be okay, I'd be like, how do you know that? You don't know that. Anyway, I don't have that reaction anymore. Now I'm one of those people that's like, everything will be okay. Not toxic positivity though. But in the end, what we're learning is everything will be okay. It's really dark here. Anyway. So I'm not going to look at it. Let's see what you need to hear from your guides today. And for those of you who enjoy my not love readings, I've been trying to do a few more readings about things that are not love related. One of them is for anybody who feels like they're a light worker, and you don't have to be in the spotlight to be a light worker or make it your career. You can just be a light worker. And also today I did one about shadow work. So if you're looking for something that's not love related, 333 on the timer. I did a shadow. I don't know. I'll probably post that one later, but keep an eye out for it. I'm not supposed to be looking at these cards because like I said, if I make eye contact with the card, then I have to read it. So I'm not going to look at it, but we're going to see what comes out for you. I believe that today the chapter is about, I can't remember. We crave perfection because we want to feel safe. Interesting. When I was doing that shadow reading, I mentioned, because I was trying to shuffle cards perfectly, I mentioned the need to be perfect. That's interesting. Anyway, and how to know if you're overcorrecting your life. No, I wasn't going to read that one, was I? Let me just backtrack here. We crave perfection. I think I was only going to read one today because these next 2 are longer. So the second one after this is definitely long. So I think I'll just read one. But we crave perfection because we want to feel safe. So that's what we're reading today. So let's cut the deck and see what happens. We have connection. 50. So we have 40 and 50 here. 45 could be symbolic. 50. 50, 50, 50. Assistance, synchronicity, spontaneity, and surprise. Excuse me. Take a deep breath, stay grounded and calm. We will bring you what you're looking for, trust. So I don't know what you're asking your guides for here, but interesting, we have Epiphany on the bottom. Right now, you may feel as though finding what you need to feel safe and secure. Remember the chapter. Where is it? We crave perfection because we want to feel safe. Right now, you may feel as though finding what you need to feel safe and secure is almost impossible. Whether it's looking for a new house after you've sold the one you're living in. That's a horrible experience. Like selling your house and then needing to find a home to live in. Like, okay, I've sold my house. Now I need to find one to buy. That's a stressful experience. If you're going through that, I'm sending you love. Finding a new community after leaving an old group of people with whom you no longer relate. And we were talking about outgrowing people in the last reading. Or simply locating the parking spot you need in a crowded supermarket lot when in a hurry. By all appearances, the odds seem stacked against you. Never fear. Take a deep breath and call on your runner guides to help you find what you need. They are ready to lead you to the right place at the right time. Whether it's leading you to the car pulling out of the parking space close to the entrance of the store, you're in a rush to enter, or drawing your attention to a particular ad or article that leads you to find the house you're looking for, or the community you want to connect with, your runner guides are ready to bring you all you need. All you need to do is ask. So maybe you need to ask your runner guides for some assistance. Interesting. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. We have opposition. I feel like this has come out for us before in this deck. Opposition, 49. So 40, 49, 50 could be symbolic. Plus 40 and 50 reduced is 4 plus, I'm like 2 into numbers. 40 and 50 reduced is 5 plus 4, which equals 9. Anyway. Concession, fairness, democracy, neutrality. Accept that your interests are no more or less important than those people around you. So the only way to achieve resolution is through understanding and compromise. Interesting. You could be, coming back together with a friend or a connection, a mother. Your nature spirits remind you that no one is entirely good or bad. Every person has their own version of reality, which may not necessarily agree with yours. Instead of arguing or feeling wronged by someone who refuses to see your point of view, open your mind and consider theirs. See the balance of light and shadow, rigidity and flexibility, receptivity and hostility in all people, including yourself. Although it's easy to feel indignant and defensive towards the one who opposes you, the truth is that no one is trying to harm you. Instead, your detractor simply supports their own interests and priorities, which are different from yours. Rather than reacting emotionally with argument, attack, or invalidation, seek to understand your opponent instead. Be mindful not to be overly self-centered or self-protective. Be fair-minded and relax your stance. Recognize their humanity and not just the part that opposes you. For example, what are your opponent's priorities? What are their needs? What might they fear in you? This standoff between you can be softened if you consider their motives as well as your own. Gain insight into your common interests. From there, you can move ahead. Compromise. Let your higher self communicate with your opponent's higher self, rather than antagonize their ego with combative. Where was I? Compromise. Let your higher self communicate with your opponent's higher self rather than antagonize their ego with combativeness. Allow your nature spirits to ease the tension between you. They will cool the hostile air and calm the ground under your feet so that both of you can feel more stable and secure. There is an acceptable solution to this impasse if you ease your position and lighten your heart. Interesting. So take it as it resonates. You could have been asking about a certain situation or relationship in your life. And if you look at this, there's two people on there. I'm seeing the Chariot card too, two opposing forces. So let's keep going. What do we need to hear? We have work, helper guides, 20, judgment energy, 20. Discipline, focus, development, commitment. So this could be, I'm hearing with judgment, this could have to do with, for some of you, your soul purpose. But yeah, carry on with confidence. You are on a solid path to lasting financial security. A successful and lasting outcome is guaranteed. Discipline, focus, development, commitment. You are in the beginning stage of a huge growth period in your career or in your business. Amazing. What you have been doing until now has brought you to this point where promotion or expansion is possible. Have faith in what's to come. You are on the correct path to building a solid and sound future. Continue to work steadily with a focused determination, discipline, and commitment to your intended goal. You can be confident in a successful outcome. You may not see immediate results from your efforts, but know in your heart that the work you do now will bear much fruit later. Much like planting a garden, you are planting and cultivating the seeds of success. Careful attention to detail is important now. The more thorough and dedicated you are in all you do, the more you guarantee your future harvest. Interesting. So some of you could be, planting seeds when it comes to your business or career. If you're someone who's, starting a new business, that's all really good. So should we do one more? Let's do one more and see how we go. We have decisions, higher self. So maybe there's something that you are needing to make a decision about. Confusion, quandary, ambivalence, juggling. Don't try to be all things to all people. Take care of yourself now. You are now or will soon face a choice, interesting, and may not be sure what to do. Leave or stay a job, terminate or recommit to a relationship, stop or continue a creative project, go to work or stay at home with the kids. Life presents everyone with an endless stream of choices, and figuring out what is best is never simple. Fortunately, your higher self is here to help you make the best choice among so many. Your divine self will guide you if you're willing to drop some of the balls you presently juggle. The key is identifying what you care about right now rather than caring about the needs of others. Focus on your priorities and don't let yourself be overwhelmed or sidetracked by the demands and expectations of those around you. This doesn't mean abandoning your responsibilities to those in real need of care, such as small children or vulnerable others who depend on you. It means being fully centered in self-care and refraining from over-caretaking competent adults who are responsible for themselves. You aren't abandoning anyone by doing this. Your higher self simply reminds you not to abandon yourself. Put yourself first right now. It is the best thing to do. So for some of you, I trust in the universe to grant me happy surprises. That's your affirmation popping down. Interesting. Anyway, that affirmation interrupted my train of thought. Doesn't take much. I cannot watch the movie Up. It breaks my heart. I watched it once, and once is enough for me. I am grateful for the relationship with myself. You have double affirmations popping down. So I am grateful for the relationship with myself. Anyway, the movie Up. I can't watch it. I won't watch it. But the one thing I remember was that movie that had the dog in it that was like, squirrel. That's me. Squirrel. All right, so let's get one more. I know I keep saying that, but I'm feeling called one more. Feeling called for one more. We have boredom. Teacher guides. Interesting. Dig deeper. There's more of you to uncover, express, and share. And we just had that affirmation about your relationship with yourself. Interesting. Life is relatively stable and calm, and you've achieved a certain degree of predictability and comfort on a day-to-day basis. However, something is lacking in the way of deeper fulfillment. Your teacher guides gather in response to this emptiness. They gently remind you that there's more to your soul than you are presently expressing. They are calling upon you to share more of yourself with the world, my little light workers. Again, you don't have to be like in the spotlight to be a light worker. And let your hidden or forgotten talents come forward. Trust these beautiful guides as they lovingly urge you to set aside your reservations and unearth and express your hidden gifts. They wisely counsel you that any restlessness, emptiness, and boredom you feel isn't the result of something wrong in your life, but is rather a reminder that there is more of you to express. Your teacher guides invite you to take advantage of your present peace and use your good fortune to explore your deeper spiritual and creative callings. For example, start a meditation group course, enroll in a filmmaking class, learn Reiki. That one's for me. I keep saying, I want to learn how to do Reiki. Begin writing, maybe even teach a class for others. Stretch and ask more of yourself and give more of yourself to others. But remember, you also had that card about not giving to people who you still need to focus on yourself. It said competent adults, which was interesting. Anyway, so let's read that chapter, my friends. Let's read that chapter. So here we go. Yeah, this one and the next one are kind of long. Not long, but longer than the ones we usually read when we read two. The truth about perfection, and you could be someone who's waiting until you're perfect at something to put yourself out there. When I started doing this, I was like, I need to be perfect. I need to know everything. And again, the universe made it so that I had no choice but to start this. And then I started, you can learn as you go. You don't have to be perfect. I just wanted to say that as a side note from me. The truth about perfection is that we only want it so that others might not hurt us for the lack of it. We don't crave perfection because it's an authentic expression of who we are. We use perfection as a defense, not only against other people's potential criticisms. I just noticed a typo in this book. I always find it fascinating when you find a typo in a book. It's like, how did that get past an editor? Is that what editors do? Anyway. Other people's potential criticisms, but also against what we know deep down is not in alignment in our own lives. It is soothing to make these things look just right on the surface when you know that they are just wrong beneath the surface. Do you really think you need to worry about what someone might think of the small details of your life? Or do you need to live in a way that actually makes you feel a little bit more alive? Do you really want to leave your self-esteem hinging on how you imagine others perceive you? Or do you want to find a way to feel proud of yourself at the end of the day? Do you want to arrange your existence so that it would be impossible for anyone to say anything negative about it? Or do you want to live with so much joy spilling out from the inside that it renders such opinions meaningless either way? Letting go of perfection will not make you lose control of yourself. Perfection is a false control to begin with. And letting go of it is actually recentering yourself within your own life. It will not hold you back from pursuing what calls to you, because what we perceive to be instances of impeccable genius are in actuality moments of the deepest and rawest authenticity. An artist, a person, a partner, a lover, anyone daring to create something or be something that actually makes them feel. It occurs not through a relentless pursuit of what makes us invincible to the world, but finally alive within it. Perfection and excellence are not the same thing. One is sought with the intention of how something will appear, and the other is created with the intention of how it will actually be. There's a reason we find mountain ranges so vast and stunning. There's a reason we are moved to tears over a powerful vocal performance, a striking piece of art. Why we often stand in reverence of nature or humanity itself. Beautiful things make us feel at peace and at ease. Visually, there is order and sense. Even when there isn't, there's a magnitude that makes it feel as though it might not have been... I can't read. Even when there isn't, there's a magnitude that makes it feel as though it might not have to make perfect sense in order to be extraordinary. We try to apply the same logic to our lives, that if we could make them appear as though they make sense, they will. However, we approach it in the wrong way. The reality is that it is not an image that we can hold within our minds that will put us at ease. It has to be actual, real, raw beauty. That is often very imperfect. What we miss is that whatever force created those mountain ranges didn't do it so that we'd feel something while we looked at them. The artists themselves had to move past the fear of what we, the audience, might think and get lost in the song. The point is that none of these things are actually perfect. They have simply been allowed to be. I hope you find the courage to live an imperfect life. I hope you begin to see that it was never perfection you were after. Perfection was an answer to a question that you were too afraid to ask. Perfection was always the easy way out, the means of convincing yourself that you are enough for your own existence. I hope you learn to choose what you already know is right. Not what tells the story of your life most seamlessly, not what you think others would celebrate and cheer for if they discussed it without you in the room, not what you imagine would make for a nice post. The best possible way to sum up your experience. Enact revenge on all of those who ever doubted you and live happily, albeit one-dimensionally, for the rest of the time you have left. I hope you begin to see that in place of perfection, you could seek truth. Truth is high and low, it's messy and it's gorgeous. It's all that's ever mattered. It's living in accordance with your truest values and meeting your deepest needs. It's focusing more on how things look than how they appear. It is not simply waking up one day and deciding that you will no longer care about what anybody else thinks, but determining whose opinions you will value and whose truly matter. It is not waking up one day and choosing to live mindlessly with no consideration for how one's actions affect another, but to decide to more consciously rise to the level of your values rather than falling to the level of your reactions. It is not believing that as you make this grand transition into life, that is more fully yours, every person you come across will understand you well, but that whether or not they do is a matter of their own perception, and the quality of your life is going to be a matter of your own. We are beings designed for connection. We crave it not only to feel safe, but because it is the most essential reality of life, that we, as everything, share a oneness, a sameness, that's easy to overlook if you just gaze at the surface. We sever this connection as we try to convince others how worthy we are of their time and affection and love. That which we seek can only come to us if we connect to ourselves first. It can only exist within our lives insofar as we realize it is our presence that is our greatest value. There's not one additional thing you must do to convince those who are meant to love you that they should stick around. Connection is a self-evident thing, if you're seeking it with those who want to offer it in return. We get lost because we try to convince those who have no intention of loving us that they should. In place of a few things that matter, we often seek many that don't. In place of what matters, we crave scale. Without the love of one person we cared for, we want the love of many to make up for it. This is the root from which all perfectionism grows. You don't look out at the sunrise and wonder if every ray is expressing itself to the fullest potential. You don't criticize the rainstorm for not releasing every drop precisely over the driest ground. You don't sum up other people by how perfectly they do every last thing in their lives. It's their simple presence that makes all of these things beautiful and worthwhile. Could you learn to see yourself the same way? I had a really hard time reading that because it's dark and I don't have my glasses. This next chapter is very long. Oh my goodness, it's very long. And then the last 2 chapters I can read in one go. So we only have 2 more readings with this book, and then we're going to switch up the book. So the next chapter, how to know if you're overcorrecting your life. So we'll read that next time. But yeah. So what do I want to do now? Do I want to get you... What shall I get you? I have these number affirmation cards here, so we'll do those because they're right here. So yeah, let's see what you need to hear. We have 2 minutes left on this reading. We have 88 could be symbolic. We have 777, good luck. Contentment, prosperity, abundance, spiritual awakening, divine intervention. This message is most likely to reach you during intense uncertainty. You'll come out winning from everything that may come your way. It's also a sign that you have much life experience and wisdom to share with others. You'll need enthusiasm and effort to get this message out. Interesting, because we had that card that talked about that. Ooh. Oh geez, these cards are going everywhere. Hang on. We have 2002, the void, longing, technology, ambition, genius, forward-thinking, stress, depression. You have more control over your life than you realize. Learn and execute what interests you. Turn things around. It gets better with time. Wasn't I saying everything will be okay? There are plenty of friends to make. Chill out, have fun, and open up. Maybe possibly go outside. So we're just going to get a few. I'm going to get that one too, the one on the bottom. We have light up, mood swings, respect, family, constructive outlook, quality. Focus on your needs, desires, and hobbies. Everything is more accessible with a light attitude. You will be blessed with new opportunities, a new friend, or in addition to your family, could be a fur baby addition. Good vibes will speed up the process. I'm going to have to go to another part. We have 1221, so you could be seeing 1221. Taking initiative, change, optimism, joy, communication, messages, good news, expressions, high vibes. Work with what you have and it will get you places. Count your blessings and acknowledge your dear ones. You will find inspiration and figure out a way forward. You might also be getting some good news soon. And we have 1144, so you could be seeing 1144. High vibes. Divine intervention, prosperity, big ventures, fated events, faith, purpose, higher calling. Love or other happiness lurks just around the corner. It will be something much better than your wildest dreams. A rare opportunity, An exciting encounter with like-minded people will exceed your expectations. And we have 101, starting over, intelligence, dynamics, making a difference, failures, personal or spiritual development. Happiness is linked to self-expression, growth, and experience. Learning from failures is key. Happiness is real, possible, and around. Understand its process and the pursuit of it. Joy is fluid. It's in the little things and the big ones. Fails are fun. Start fresh. Interesting. So, my friends, I'm going to leave it there. I have muggle things I need to go do. But thank you for sharing your time with me today. And I'll see if I should be back tomorrow with another one, but no promises. But yes, I'll be talking to you guys soon. I hope you have a really good night and take care of yourselves, and I'll talk soon. Bye, besties.